Hey, you're listening to episode 155 of the Keto Diet Podcast, and we're chatting today all about what you can expect when you start your ketogenic diet. So if you have just started, maybe you're in the first 30 days and you're like, what is happening to my body? Why am I always hungry? Why am I never hungry? Why am I sweating? Why does my sweat smell? We're going to be answering all these things today. And if you need more guidance on what to expect when you start a ketogenic diet, and you'll already have my program, The Keto Beginning, head on over to page 45 where I outline everything. Now, if you don't have The Keto Beginning, I highly recommend going to healthfulpursuit.com/begin and grab a copy. Now, if you have questions about today's content and you're feeling a little lost, you can head on over to healthfulpursuit.com/contact and ask me. You can catch up on previous podcast episodes and notes from today's show by going to ketodietpodcast.com. I got one cool thing to share with you before we get started with today's show, and that is that my newest paperback book, Keto for Women, launches in less than a month. Guys, I cannot even believe that this book is going to be in the hands of many in less than a month. It's crazy, or at least I hope it's in the hands of many. Now, if you haven't already pre-ordered, you can do so by going to ketoforwomen.com, and when you pre-order, you're entered to win one of 3 VIP memberships into my 12-week video training program for women, Happy Keto Body. So you can pre-order over at ketoforwomen.com, where it outlines everything to do with the book, what you can learn from the book, what's in there, the 3-step process that I'm sharing with you throughout the 400-page book, and so much more. Again, that's Keto for Women to enter to win the one of 3 VIP memberships into Happy Keto Body. Okay, let's do this thing. Welcome to the Keto Diet Podcast, the show all about keto for women so you can burn fat, balance your hormones, and heal your body. If you're new around these parts, I'm Leanne Vogel. You may know me as the international best-selling author of The Keto Diet and author of the upcoming paperback book, Keto for Women, where I'm showing you how to take charge of the imbalances that are ruling your life so you can discover your happy weight in 3 easy steps. Or you may know me as the nutritionist that likes dipping pork rinds in avocado oil mayo. I'm so glad you're here with me today, and thanks so much for listening. Okay, let's talk about what to expect when you start eating high fat. Now, maybe you're interested in going high fat, but you're totally overwhelmed with all the information out there. Maybe you're overwhelmed by the fact that you have to eat that much fat, and how the heck are you going to eat that much fat every day? Oh my goodness, I remember this completely, and it was totally overwhelming. And maybe on the flip side, you have no idea what to expect and you're a little bit worried. Now, I kept a journal of my experiences as I transitioned over to the ketogenic diet, and I'm so happy that I did. And it's very important that you understand that this is a transition. It's not like tomorrow you wake up and all of a sudden you're eating low carb, high fat, moderate protein, and the world is perfect. And I think we've been conditioned to believe that you start keto, you lose 20 pounds, you feel great, everything's awesome. So I've put together basically a 5-phase expectation outlook for you so that you won't be surprised, let down, or completely confuzzled over this whole thing. You'll know exactly what to expect and how to be kind to yourself as you go through this change. Back to today's episode in a sec. Did you know it's possible to enjoy a glass or 2 of wine and stay in ketosis? Yeah, that's right. Dry Farm Wines is the first wine club that sources wines with 0 sugar, so you can drink your wine and not compromise your ketones. Plus, Dry Farm Wines curates only the highest quality natural wines from small, sustainable family farms. Their wines are organic, dry farmed, and naturally low in alcohol with 0 additives and 0 carbs. Listeners of the podcast can add an extra bottle of wine to their first Dry Farm Wines order for just 1 penny. Sign up for your first case now by going to healthfulpursuit.com/wine. Unsure of the link? Simply check out the show notes of today's episode to get all the details. Okay, back to today's episode. Okay, the first phase is research. Research is really important, guys, and you have to decide if this eating style is right for you. It's also important to get inspired with any change that you make to your health. It's really important to feel good about the change and understand why you're making the change. So once you've decided, you've gone through phase 1, you've researched the heck out of it, now you're ready to go. Now, this researching the heck out of it, you kind of need to decide and give yourself a limit on research, because what I find is a lot of people get stuck in phase 1 and they never move on to phase 2. So if there's some aspect of the eating style that resonates with you and you're feeling pretty good about it, but other aspects that you don't love too much, don't worry about the ones you don't love. Just don't do those things and focus on the ones that you do love or ones that speak to you. Now, phase 2 is getting over your fear of fats. So you've decided that this eating style is right for you. And the first day that I drowned my meal in oil, when I say drowned, I mean like more than a teaspoon of olive oil on my salad, I started completely panicking because I was like, what am I doing? Remember phase 1, go back to phase 1, research, you're good, you decided to do this, continue. Now you'll also experience some acid reflux. And I experienced this for the first couple of days and it only lasted maybe I think like 4 days. It's just because your body's not used to processing all this fat. So if you notice that that's you, then maybe tone down the fat a little bit, give yourself a little bit of time to move forward. And you can decide to still eat fruit. I know that I did. I ate berries and apples and some very ripe bananas for the first couple of days just to situate myself on how I was going to incorporate this new eating style. So if you see this as being an all or nothing thing, you will probably fail. But if you see your quote unquote weaknesses, like I love fruit, there was no way that I was going to start eating bacon and also stop eating fruit all in one go. So I started eating bacon and I was like, okay, this isn't so bad, but I still ate a little bit of fruit because I know if I didn't, I would just quote unquote fall off the wagon. In the first couple of days, you'll probably experience a little bit of brain fog, and likely it will get worse before it gets better. And sometimes people feel great the first couple of days, like the first 1 to 4 days, they'll feel great. And then on day 4, they will hit a wall and then they will not feel good for a couple of days and then they'll start to feel better. So it really depends on your body. If you want to delve deeper into these phases, I've also put together a resource for you, which is where I got all this content originally. You can use that as a resource by checking out today's show notes for more details. Phase 3 is the keto flu phase. And keto flu basically comes from an electrolyte imbalance and also from your body switching from burning carbohydrates as energy to burning fat as energy. As you deplete those glucose stores, your body's trying to figure out what fuel it needs to be using. You can avoid the keto flu feelings and can zoom right past as long as you stay on top of your electrolytes. Make sure you're eating enough food and you're staying well hydrated. Some signs of electrolyte imbalance can include muscle spasms or soreness, crampy legs, fatigue, and moodiness. For more information about how I personally avoid keto flu, you can check out the post on healthfulpursuit.com called 5 Easy Steps to Beat Keto Flu, and I will include a link in today's show notes if you want to delve into that. Within phase 3, you're just playing around with your macronutrient content, trying to decide how much fat is good for you, how much protein is good for you, and how much carbohydrate is good for you. So don't stress out if you're like, I don't even understand my macros yet. You don't need to. Chill. It's okay. Back to today's episode in a sec. ButcherBox features 100% grass-fed and finished heritage-bred pork and organic free-range chicken. ButcherBox sends you high-quality, health-promoting meats directly to your door on dry ice and free shipping anywhere in the lower 48. ButcherBox makes committing to quality protein sources less expensive and more available to everyone. Their prices are hard to beat, and it's challenging to find a higher quality product anywhere in the USA. I've been using ButcherBox for years and love the convenience of a package showing up just when I need it, and their ground sausage is an absolute dream. ButcherBox has put together a super special deal for all listeners of the show. Order your first box and get a special gift plus an additional $20 off. Now, this special gift is so epic that I can't even mention it on the episode today. So you'll have to go to butcherbox.com/keto diet to check out the deal plus get your $20 off your very first order. Again, that's butcherbox.com/keto diet to check out the deal plus get $20 off your first order. If you're unsure of the link, simply check out today's show notes for all the details. Okay, back to today's episode. Phase 4 is the experimental phase. You've been rocking a high-fat eating style for 13 solid days. Congratulations. You're likely burning fat as energy. When I started this eating style, I was away from home for a couple of weeks traveling on a yoga vacation. So I was doing a lot of workouts and staying out really late and doing a lot of crazy things. I felt on top of the world for the first time in a long time. My body just felt so solid and I had such good maintained energy. My brain was on fire and I could remember names so much quicker, which was so cool because I was around hundreds of people and was remembering their names and their stories. Within this time, you'll probably start to get a little bit more lenient around your eating plans and really start to step into your own. Maybe perhaps you are open to going to restaurants, asking the right questions, and going out for meals and not feeling totally overwhelmed about everything. You may also notice that your body just naturally starts practicing intermittent fasting. This is basically where you might just start skipping breakfast. You might still do a blended coffee or a blended tea, but you might not be thinking too much about eating first thing in the morning like you used to. Now, phase 5 is the cyclical practice and the lifelong approach to eating this way. Now, if eating keto is feeling good in your body and you're feeling great, how do you make sure that you can practice this for as long as it serves you? Well, you can start to incorporate carb ups, experimenting with your carb allotment. You can check out healthfulpursuit.com/carb up for carb up meal ideas. You also will start finding that you reach for fat as energy. So if you've just done a workout, you'll no longer want that banana. You'll want like a huge spoon of coconut oil. And this can be like super weird the first time it happens, but just go with it. It's a really cool thing when you start to instinctively know what you need on your ketogenic diet. Now, you might also hit a mental wall. Your brain might feel a little bit funky as you're adjusting to this phase and your brain is starting to use fat for fuel, but just hold on for the ride of your life because you are going to have a blast. So those are the 5 phases. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Again, I will link up to this original post in the show notes, so check out those, and any links that I shared in today's episode will also be in there, and I will see you guys in a couple of days. Okay, bye! Thanks for listening to the Keto Diet Podcast. Join us again in a couple of days to discover more keto for women secrets for your fat-fueled life. The Keto Diet Podcast, including show notes and links, provides information in respect to healthy living, recipes, nutrition, and diet, and is intended for informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor is it to be construed as such. We cannot guarantee that the information provided on the Keto Diet Podcast reflects the most up-to-date medical research. Information is provided without any representations or warranties of any kind. Please consult a qualified physician for medical advice and always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your health and nutrition program.